Hello, my name is Eliseo Rosales. I am in class Environmental Science 1402, class 90L. So the topic in summary of this presentation will be, is there any disadvantages for us slowly moving to electrical vehicles? The summary of this is most people see the change to be only positive, and there are not many cons to this transition. After conducting research, we could see that there are many cons to the transition. For example, resources, toxic gases, explosions. All of these are all of these themes are key factors when purchasing a new electrical vehicle. Here in the PowerPoint, we will explain how it may or may not affect us in the long term. Here, as you could see in this photo, you could see how a battery is made and what it is made of. As you could see, it is used of 28.1% of graphite, 15.7% of nickel, 20%, 19% of aluminum, and then in the bottom right corner, you could see where it has lithium, copper, steel, and iron. So the way that these car batteries are made is from certain materials. Almost all of them are non-renewable materials as well. As you could also see, now some vehicles are made with dual motors or even quad motors. I know that Tesla has just released a quad motor Tesla vehicle. And what this means is that there is so much material in one vehicle itself. So for example, the Tesla quad motor vehicle has four motors, one for each wheel. And therefore, you could see there's so much more materials being used now than they were before when it was just one battery controlling the whole vehicle. These batteries are made with materials such as aluminum, copper, and iron. The more precious metals are cobalt, nickel, and manganese. So the cons of having a electrical vehicle is there are way less cons with an electric vehicle compared to normal generic vehicles. Some of these cons is the toxic gases that it gives out. These batteries are made from materials that can affect us if the gases were to be released. For example, I know there was a explosion in a Tesla vehicle and the battery just gave up on it. And those gases are very toxic to humans, and they are way more toxic than combustion motors, which are just releasing, of course, the black smoke that everyone doesn't like. Here it says, of course, normal vehicles release a bad gas, just like them, but it is said that we could be more affected by the gas of a electric vehicle than a normal one. Pros of having a electric vehicle. Not surprisingly, there are way more pros of having a electric vehicle than cons. The pros that come along with this is that they do not use fuel, which is a major impact in this industry. For example, there are many jobs being affected, and also there are many jobs being added for Tesla, for all these car brands that are wanting to make the transition to slowly start using electric vehicles. For example, California has a law where you cannot have modifications to vehicles, which it affected a lot of people at first, but now you could see where they're making new trends for vehicles, ways to get them loud, or some people's aren't doing it at all anymore. Another pro would be that these electric vehicles aren't combustion engines that release a toxic gas as soon as it is started. For example, any normal human being, as soon as they wake up in a cold day, you want to turn on your car or vehicle in general so it could warm up. So you're not even using your vehicle and it's already releasing this toxic gas when we could easily fix that by not turning it on or not warming it up for ourselves. These two themes are usually decision makers for certain car companies when looking to move forward in the car industry. So currently, GMC is making a Denali EV, which stands for electric vehicle, and they are a major car company, and they themselves were the last ones to make this change. They're one of the last car companies to make the change to a electric vehicle. Of course, everyone knows them as they're fast, they're reliable. Why? Because of their motors. And they are now the last ones to make this electric vehicle. They were iffy at first, but now now that times are changing, they're full blown on this decision. The long-term pros and cons with this transition. In the long term, this transition will help the earth in so many positive ways. After conducting more research, there's almost very little to no negative ways that this transition will affect us in. The world will slowly transition to a much cleaner world, and this is one step closer in that transition. In the long term, the percentages of toxins in the air is going to drop, and that is huge compared to everything else that these electric vehicles bring to us. And this is a reference page, and thank you for listening.